Men's hockey took on Arizona State this weekend. We'll tell you how they did. The women's team opened up their weekend against Princeton. How did they fare? All this and more right now on the Neutral Zone. Hello everyone and welcome to the Neutral Zone. Excuse me. First Neutral Zone of the new year 2017. I'm your host Phil Acree and I'm joined alongside men's ice hockey beat reporter Kyle Labasser. Kyle, how does it feel to be back?
Phil, we're back in Hamden. Hockey season is in full swing. Can't be happier.
I agree. Anyways, now Quinnipiac's men's ice hockey team faced the Arizona State Sun Devils for a two-game set this weekend. The series marked just the second and third times the teams have faced each other, with Quinnipiac winning last year's matchup. It was the 10th year anniversary of the TD Bank Sports Center, and it was certainly a capacity crowd. Men's ice hockey beat reporter Sierra Goodwill was there.
Quinnipiac welcomed a new program on a historic night on Friday. It was the 10th anniversary of TD Bank Sports Center, and the Bobcats kept the crowd in high spirits with a dominating 5-2 win over Arizona State.
It's been a great run. If you look at our building, like you can't imagine this thing's 10 years old. It looks like it's 2 years old. It's in great shape. Quinnipiac does a great job of keeping it up to date.
But Arizona State had its chance for redemption on Saturday night, and it took advantage, stealing the game 4-2.
They do play these big opponents out west, and they are prepared, and they are a good team. They've seen teams that play like us, and it's not like they came in here and weren't ready to play.
Alex Whalen had the opportunity to tie the game in the first period with this wide open wraparound, but couldn't finish it off.
We've struggled to score goals this year. I think we're second in the country in shots on net.
Joey Dackard, the guy between the pipes for the Sun Devils, stole the show with 53 saves.
He stood on his head and he played great for his team, and that's what kids at this level can do.
No, I thought he was great tonight. I think that was part of it, but we didn't play well. We're running face-off plays and guys are fanning on pucks and guys can't make 5-foot passes and we struggled.
A disappointing way for Quinnipiac to end its non-conference schedule for the year, but it has a chance to regroup before getting back to ECAC play this upcoming weekend versus Brown and Yale. Sierra Goodwill, Q30 Sports.
Thank you, Sierra. As for conference standings, St. Lawrence sits atop at number 1 with Union right behind them at number 2. Quinnipiac sits at 4th and rival Yale is at 6th. Taking a look now at the USCHO.com poll, Minnesota Duluth ranks number 1 and Boston University 3rd, while ECAC rivals Union and Harvard are at the top, or in the top 10, excuse me. Quinnipiac falls from 17th to 19th and looks to now be in danger of potentially falling out of the top 20. Now, as for the pairwise rankings, Quinnipiac is ranked 24th out of 60 teams, while Minnesota Duluth and Boston University are again in the top 3. Now, Kyle, the men's team played Arizona State University this weekend for a two-game set. What's your reaction?
Phil, I think I saw two completely different teams playing in each game. I mean, the Friday game in Game 1 against Arizona State, it was the Quinnipiac team that we've seen the last few years that Rand Pecknold has built this program around. They were playing to their identity, scored 5 goals. It was the team that we saw last season. We saw goals from all over the place. Connor Clifton with a great 2-on-1 breakaway goal. Chase Prisky really has helped this power play. They scored 3 power play goals. Prisky had 2 of those. He's really come into his own on the power play. He got a lot of good looks. They were really looking at him to kind of where Sam Annis was last year. He was in a similar space on the ice, so they were looking for him to be a goal scorer. Didn't allow any goals on the penalty kill. They even outshot Arizona State while they were down a player. They outshot them 4-3. But then in Game 2, it was just a completely different team. It was not easy to watch at all. It was one of the worst games I've seen them play in the last 2 seasons, to be quite honest. And I think Rand Pecknold would agree with that because he was saying after the game they couldn't complete 5-foot passes. Players were missing assignments. It was just not Quinnipiac hockey, which he states throughout the season that's his big thing, playing to their identity. And that's not what they did.
Arizona State came in with a sub-500 record, didn't they?
Sub-500 record, second year to have a Division I program ever, but you wouldn't even know the difference between who was coming back from a national championship and who was just getting their program started. It was not good, Phil. They had a 5-minute major off a slew footing penalty from Jake Clifford of Arizona State. Slew footing, for those of you that don't know that, because it is an uncommon penalty, it's basically a trip from behind and the player falls on his back. Scott Davidson was the victim of that. He did go out later in the game, but you got to be able to capitalize on penalties like that and take
Now,
advantage.
with all this, do you think that they can contend for a playoff spot?
I don't think so, Phil. I mean, it's not good when you lose to a team like Arizona State. They got swept by Princeton a few weeks ago. They lost to them twice. I mean, they're really losing to teams that they shouldn't be. And when I look at the rest of their schedule, they have 2 big games against Yale. And I think Yale and Cornell, the 2 teams behind them in the standings, are going to catch them. Right now, Quinnipiac is sitting at 4th. The 3 teams ahead of them, St. Lawrence, Union, and Harvard, lead them in points pretty handily, and I don't think anyone's going to catch them. I think they're going to remain the top 3 teams in the standings. And then you kind of have that group of Quinnipiac, Cornell, Yale, and Clarkson, as you see on the screen. They're kind of battling for home field advantage come the ECAC quarterfinals. So I don't think Quinnipiac is going to get home field advantage. I think they've been struggling in the second game of series. So if they face a 3-game series, who's to say that they're not going to struggle in the 3rd game as well? So it doesn't look too good, especially after these past few losses.
Well, thank you. You heard it here from Kyle. Quinnipiac doesn't look to contend for a playoff spot this year. Right now, we're going to toss it outside to Kirby Paulson for Kirby's Corner. Kirby?
Thanks, guys. I'll get right down to it. It's starting to flurry out here. I think Penn State might be getting the royal ranking treatment because of their win-loss column. Yeah, they're an upcoming program and they're really going to grow, but I think they might still be a first-round situation. See ya. Next, one of the college hockey's best traditions in the Beanpot is coming up next Monday with the first round. Harvard and Northeastern, BC, BU in the first round. BU has 30, BC has 20. Great talent, great teams. It should be a good one. Finally, the Hobey Baker candidacy is really starting to fire up. Guys like Mike Vecchione, Dylan Sakura are really starting to pad their resumes. My sleeper pick is Anders Bjork. USCHO writer Gabby Riggy said this year's Hobey Baker first round is the deepest in years. College hockey has never looked better. I couldn't agree more with that. Back to y'all at the warm desk.
Thanks so much, Kirby. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break here at the Neutral Zone, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? So what?
If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say, yes, there is a controversy.
Line, getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monmouth player.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Ball played up the middle. Emmanuel with a little cheat off the puck. Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means.
Welcome back to the Neutral Zone, everybody. Actually, we're going to toss it right back outside to Kirby Paulson for another edition of Kirby's Corner. Kirby?
Good to be back again, guys. On the women's side of things for the Beanpot, the first round is a wrap. BU 3-2, and NU beat Harvard 4-1. Those finals will be held next week. In Wisconsin, they were able to fill the Kohl Center with over 15,000 fans for their women's hockey game. Look no further than the Midwest to see that the growing of the game continues. A lot of passion for hockey out there. Finally, I had the opportunity to cover Frozen Fenway and watch the Boston College women's ice hockey team play Harvard, and what a spectacle that was, even with the weather. And back to you guys at the desk.
Kirby, looks like you left about 50 seconds on the clock combined from both those segments, but we'll let it slide this time. Anyways, now I'm joined alongside women's ice hockey beat reporter Matt McAuliffe. Matt, how does it feel to be back?
Back for the second semester, back for more hockey. Couldn't be happier.
Anyways, now Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team had the weekend off, but they welcomed ECAC rival Princeton to Hamden in a rare weekday matinee. As for the break, the Bobcats played 7 games and went 3-2-2 in that stretch. 5 of Quinnipiac's 7 contests were against ECAC opponents. The team defeated Penn State, Dartmouth, and Colgate, but also suffered a pair of ECAC road losses to Princeton and Cornell. Bobcats rounded out the 7 games by tying Cornell and Merrimack. In the latest edition of the USCHO.com poll, Quinnipiac ranks at number 10, just behind Princeton. Robert Morris and Cornell swapped spots in the rankings, while St. Lawrence remains at number 5, Clarkson remains at number 3, and Wisconsin sits again at number 1. Quinnipiac sits at number 11 in the pairwise rankings, while Colgate, Cornell, Clarkson, and St. Lawrence find themselves in the top 10. In the current ECAC standings, Quinnipiac sits at number 5, behind Princeton. Now, Matt, here back to us at the desk now. What are your thoughts on the rest of the Bobcats schedule when it comes to ECAC play?
It's going to be tough, Phil. It's going to be tough for 2 games in particular, away at St. Lawrence and away at Clarkson. Those are definitely the toughest games in the schedule. If they can come out with wins in both of those games, they are going to be sitting really well in the ECAC standings. But if they don't, it's going to be an uphill battle in the tournament as well.
I think they have a better chance against St. Lawrence on the road, because you have to think, at home in Hampden, they only lost 1-0 to St. Lawrence. I think Clarkson's a much tougher game because they got blown out 4-1 at home.
Yeah, it was a 4-1 win at home with Clarkson, so the confidence isn't there against that team, but yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Now, I think everyone who's watched Quinnipiac women's ice hockey can notice one of the biggest surprises and disappointments this season has been the play of Sydney Rossman. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Sydney Rossman is my biggest disappointment so far this year. If you look at her goals against average now, it's 1.6. And if you look at it last year, where she was ECAC goaltender of the year, 0.9.
It's a huge difference.
If you look at her shutouts this year, now she has 7. Last year, she had 16. If you look at her amount of saves that she has, now 437. Amount of saves last year, 647. There's a lot of differences. There's large differences between these stats from this year and last year. That's why she's my biggest disappointment.
Now, do you think it's a confidence thing?
It could be a confidence thing because we saw that Abby Ives, the freshman goaltender, backup goaltender, started a game over her and got a shutout. So yeah, that could have been a confidence. It could have hurt her confidence.
Sure.
But again, Cass Turner, Sydney Rossman's her rock, so she's going to stay in between the pipes, though.
Now, Matt, who are the players that really need to step up in the second half if the Bobcats want to have a long playoff run?
Yeah, offensively, I need to see more production from Melissa Samuskevich and the captain, Emma Woods. Emma Woods, last year, she had 34 points. Right now, she only has 19. Samo, last year, finished with 32 points. Right now, she only has 20. So I want to see more of Emma Woods with her bread and butter slap shot near the red dot. I need to see more of her leadership, too, vocally, and I need Samo to step up if they really want to win, like I said, at these tough games away at St. Lawrence and away at Clarkson. That is what I need from those two offensively.
Now, Matt, when it comes to making a long playoff run, do you think that if Sydney Rossman steps up, if Melissa Samuskevich and Emma Woods all step up, and then the freshmen keep contributing the way they have been all season long, do you think they have what it takes to beat Clarkson, who are the reigning national champions?
I do, Phil, and for 2 reasons why. This team's got great chemistry, and this team's got a whole lot of heart.
I mean, you and I both saw it the other day. They got beat badly. They got shut out at home against Princeton. They got swept by Princeton, and the bench energy was the best it's been all season. Cass Turner even said that after the game.
Constantly yelling, constantly cheering on teammates. They have the heart, they have the chemistry, and this team has the potential to beat these top teams because of that heart, because of the fundamentals that they have as well. Cass Turner harps on the fundamentals in practices, so they have the heart, they have the chemistry. They most definitely can beat these defending national champions.
It'll be interesting for sure. I mean, especially when you consider they have 2 of the nation's best players, and Kaylee Mercer. I'm almost positive she's the nation's top scorer, and then one of the best goaltenders in the country, Shea Tiley. Well, that will do it here for us at the Neutral Zone. We want to thank you for joining us in the first show of the new year. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30Sports and online at www.q30television.com. From everyone behind the scenes, Matt McAuliffe, Kyla Vassar, I'm Phil Acree. We'll see you next time.